J-Man, can't come. Like, why are you here? Like, you're a comedian, gang. We don't need you here to be cracking jokes. We lost people. This real war type, you know? On stage.
Show your face. Show your face, please. With sugar on top.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Y'all know my slogan. I don't know it all, but I know what I've been through. Now, before we get into this video, please make sure you head on down to Instagram and follow us on our official Instagram page at Hookah Anonymous _. Alright? We're able to be a little more explicit, a little more uncensored, and share content freely without running the risk of having our channel terminated. So, once again, make sure you head on down to Instagram and follow us on our official Instagram page at Hookah Anonymous _. Alright, now let's get into what you guys came here to see. Now, recently, Memo did an interview with Real Tune TV. Shout out to them. And he dropped an interesting bomb on us. Well, a couple bombs. By admitting to the world for the first time that he actually spoke to Mama Duck, who is FBG Duck's mother, for those that don't know. He also mentioned that him and JG Ruger is supposed to have a peace sit down and speak about their differences, coordinated by Chicago's OG Bo Dill, and states that they've had this in the works before Tay Savage and FYB J-Mane decided they was going to push peace. However, they didn't want to go public with it because it wasn't for the internet, because these guys are really trying to push peace and put an end to all the senseless violence in Chicago. So I want to talk about all that because if y'all remember the video we did covering the whole pushing peace stuff between these guys, we stated the exact same thing. I stated that it's okay to push peace as long as it's genuine and guys aren't doing it just to be marketable. So to hear Memo600 say the same exact thing is interesting, and I want to know what you guys think about Memo saying that him and Ruger been trying to have a sit down with each other, and the fact that he's speaking to Mama Duck behind closed doors. So I'm gonna play some clips from y'all from Memo's interview. First and foremost, shout out to Real Tune TV. I'm gonna leave a link to the video, the full interview, in the comments, so y'all can check that out after watching this video. So let's get into what Memo actually had to say.
I feel like they little concept and shit, it was cute and all, but they ain't really real Opps, gang. Like they making a statement though, like seeing it and respecting it, but people that shit a persona. That's act to me, like, you know, they not really into it with each other. So like they with me and Ruger, this shit been in the making, gang, like months ago before they even came and exposed themselves with they. I be on the phone, I talk to Mama Duck, I talk to Ruger Daddy all the time. This months before all that they doing. Right. So we've been planning this, we just want going viral. We really lost our people, so this ain't nothing to be, oh, we gotta make this a show for everybody. We was gonna do it behind closed doors, but we just came together and said, why not let everybody know? Right. I feel like he has no purpose of being there. We not a tour with you, like.
Now, Memo said a lot here, right? He frowned upon Tay Savage and FYB J-Mane's pushing peace movement, saying that it's just a persona. Yeah, you heard right. He said it was a persona, y'all. I think he really meant facade. But he gave props to the two, saying that they are doing a good deed. You know, it's the right effort. However, he states it's a facade because Tay Savage and FYB J-Mane never had real beef with each other. He begins to also state that J-Mane isn't invited because he's really just not in tune with what's going on and haven't lost anybody. Then he also called him a comedian. Now here's what I think. We've seen King Ella attempt to sit down with Breezy and have a talk, but Breezy said it made no sense because they never really had any beef in the first place. Yella just involved himself in the beef that they had with who he was affiliated with, right? And I mention that because like Memo said, in order to have peace, it must make sense. It must include people who are important to the drill culture, right? And this is why I always call out Lil Durk when we talking peace, because he's somebody who's big in Chicago, and when it comes to making peace, he would be the ideal guy, because just like the kids see him go back and forth and diss some of his ops, if he was to make peace with whichever op, it will make that much more sense, because now the kids who actually followed him for the dissing can also follow him while he's pushing peace, so they can see that and hopefully follow those same footsteps. You see how that works? Now, don't get me wrong, Memo isn't as big as Chief Keef or Dirk yet, but his story and the tension between him and Ruger is something that could show the world something, not just Chicago, the world, because both of their brothers were ops just like they are and died at the expense of each other. We know that allegedly Ruger brother Scrap is said to have did what he did to Memo's brother Lil Steve. So them both linking with each other for a sit down, it's more to it. It's more personal. That would definitely kick something off because they have history of beefing and two people that lost their lives and their family behind the beefing with each other. Both experienced their mother crying because they lost a son. Both lost brothers. So if they can put everything to the side and try to hash things out, it's more meaningful. I think kids or even adults will see that and realize that they can come together and do the same, no matter how much blood has been spilled, no matter what differences they have, because they both lost somebody in their families. So on the next note, right, Memo describes that he'd been talking to Mama Duck, as well as, it's being behind the scenes and not for social media, which is another big topic of discussion. This is also something that will bring a big light to pushing peace because, as we know, Memo and FBG Duck were a part of two of the biggest drill disses known in history, which is Exposing Me and the remix. Memo was dissing Duck and them as well as King Von, but Duck isn't here anymore, and neither is King Von. So instead, Memo is sitting down with his mother, and this will maybe spark a trend where these guys could probably start maybe uniting with the mothers of some of these deceased guys and bring some type of closure or peace to the mothers. I can be reaching, but you never know. You never know how a mother who lost a child to gun violence in the streets may feel. That may put some type of peace or ease at their mental when it comes to dealing with the loss of their child. You never know. So I think this is big if Mama Duck and Memo actually are speaking behind the scenes. And I like the way things are going between them and how they're doing it. In one of our previous videos, we did explain that if you truly want peace, you don't have to do it on social media because it isn't for social media. Real people lost real lives. Real parents lost real children. Real friends lost real friends. So doing it in private and not for the world to see if you really are serious about it, that's the way to go, I feel. Oftentimes when people do things on social media, it leaves too much room for opinions of other people on the internet. Keep in mind that they don't got nothing to do with nothing, but got the most opinions, and sometimes that becomes a problem. Sometimes that determines how a person may reply to you. I personally feel if King Yellow would have hollered at 600 Breezy in a private DM or whatever instead of on Instagram out in the open, he probably would have gotten a different response. Because we know that sometimes people respond differently when they know it's eyes watching. Pride and ego plays a big part sometimes. And I'm not saying that was the case between them, but it does play a role. How I think, all that pushing peace should start, it shouldn't be where the public could see first. I think personally that it should happen behind the scenes, and when y'all feel comfortable with the world knowing, just pop out while everybody is, lost. Because they're going to be confused. But at that point, y'all have already spoke. Y'all already hashed out everything. You don't need anybody to tell you anything to try to deter your mind from what the plan is. Because that's what happens. Sometimes things don't come to fruition because too many opinions and too much talks and too much people is in the business. So it's distracting, away from the common goal of peace. So I feel personally what you should do is establish peace behind the scenes first and then pop out and let people know that y'all are peaceful. I think that's the only way it will work. Right? Now, as far as Memo saying that FYB, J-Man, and Tay Savage aren't real ops, I don't know how true that is because I don't know whether they really are or not. I do know that FYB, J-Man claims that Tay Savage allegedly shot at him before. So if he really did that and that's true, then they definitely are ops in my eyes. Right? Anytime somebody makes an attempt on my life, we're definitely ops. Simple. Or it could have just been one of FYB J-Man's stunts to get attention at the end of the day. And Tay Savage really didn't shoot at him. But in that case, then, coming together really isn't doing anything. But the concept that they started, they definitely can't go unnoticed for that. because I feel just the whole pushing peace narrative and the concept first, bringing it to light, that'd be dope. However, like I stated in the previous video, although everyone's trying to push peace, it's going to take a lot to actually establish peace, right? You got some people that are with it, but then you got others who aren't, and you can't blame them. We don't know how it felt to lose somebody close and have to watch videos or hear music of people taunting your dead homie or family member. We don't know how it felt to see their mothers cry and have to deal with it by themselves. So you can't tell anybody how to react when it comes to pushing peace, because maybe they aren't over that feeling just yet. And unfortunately, they may never be over that feeling, honestly. It just is what it is. But if you really want to push peace, even if they decline making peace with you, you have to have enough or be mature enough to understand their pain and their reason why they don't want to make peace, and just deal with them accordingly. You know, you could just keep your distance. We ain't got to diss each other, make diss songs, videos, none of that. Keep it cordial. Keep your distance. Simple. All right. So that's pretty much it, man. Shout out to Real Tune TV and the interview that they did with Memo600. Like I said earlier, we're going to leave a link pinned in the comments below so y'all can check out the full interview, and hopefully y'all enjoy it, man. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell so you're notified every time we drop new content. And remember, as long as you keep on watching, I'm going to keep on dropping. I'm out.